Hello, everyone. It's Friday, Good Friday. So Good Friday to everyone. We have a session today, a special session regarding Facebook communities. I have a special guest aboard. Hi, Matt.
Hey Roy, how's it going?
Good. So Matt here is Facebook community admin. He has his own group for people who like to cruise. Your group is called Cruise Life Group,
That's
correct?
correct. Yep.
Okay. Hey, we have some people aboard. Let's see. Hi, Cindy. We're gonna gather a few people.
Yeah.
So the point of this live session is I personally would love to hear your story, how the group was created, how you're growing your community. You're almost at 3,000 members.
hmm
I'm part of the group for a few years now. We've met on board a ship inspection. I think you
Yeah. Was it the Vista?
I think maybe one of the Norwegians. I think I kind of found you online and you joined on one of my Let's Do
Yeah.
Lunch
I
sessions.
that is correct. I forget which Norwegian ship it was, but we had briefly met originally on one of the Carnival ships when it was in New York.
Maybe. I think maybe
Um,
the breakaway, but we've met. I was interested to see how and what cruisers, people that don't necessarily use travel agents, um, what do they think? Hi Sonia, hi Red. Um, so I asked Matt to jump in, come aboard, tell us a little bit about the history of the group, what's going on. So let's start.
all right, so I'll start with a little bit of the history of the group. Um, I'm definitely one of those diehard cruisers who isn't very brand loyal. I tend to jump around. I love Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean. I've sailed on a few others as well. And I found that a lot of the cruise groups were very brand specific. And so I kind of wanted a platform where you were free to discuss any cruise line. So I said, hey, you know what? It's something I'm passionate about. So why don't I try starting up a group? I started it back in 2016. I think it started with about 50 of my friends that I knew were kind of into cruising. At first, it was pretty slow to grow. It's not something that will really just grow on its own. Um, Specifically, when you're trying to reach a sort of general cruise population and not very brand specific. One of the ways that I originally started trying to get some more membership was through doing guest blog posts on some of the bigger cruise sites like Cruise Fever. Um, that eventually turned into me wanting to create my own blog and using that to attract new members as well. Um, but a lot of it is word of mouth. You meet people on a cruise, and you make that connection with them, and they come and drop by, and then they're mention it. So I'm a pretty social person. So like it's obviously when I'm actually cruising, it's almost like promoting itself a little bit. But yeah, those
Okay.
are those are a couple ways. Another way is if you're obviously you don't want to go and spam other Facebook groups. It's kind of a faux pas. But if you can establish a relationship with other admins, well, maybe you can do something where you can post something in their group and they can post something in yours. There's been a couple scenarios where I've done that, but it's not something I do a lot.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, just obviously, I mean, networking is probably one of the biggest things. Just like I'm doing right now. I mean, right, we're talking about it, and people are interested. So, um, it's a method to grow.
So you kind of created like a whole brand for yourself, Cruise Like Math, as a page. You have a logo. To some point, you looked into having some maybe brand shirts or stuff like that.
Yeah, we did originally have a few years back when we first started. We had some merchandise for the group. Um, we kind of I don't know. There was some of the diehards, obviously, like the admins and whatnot. We bought some, but it wasn't a big a big seller for us. So we didn't push it too much. I was mentioning to you before. I don't really push a lot of sales things within the group. The only thing that I do push is we have a group cruise coming up next year. We had one back in 2018. That's pretty much the only thing that I'll promote within the group. I everything else is strictly informational. I want to get people information, and I want to be their source of the information, right?
Right.
I'm not trying to sell anything, and it's not a business enterprise for me. It's a hobby. I mentioned that to you earlier, um, but it could be for the right person. I mean, especially travel agents. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there that are run by travel agents, and they're very successful. It's a good platform, whether you want to push sales or not.
Right. So yeah, I gave as an example. I mean, this specific group, we have a great community. We haven't reached the point where we have merchandise or we all travel together. But
Yep.
the point of this group specifically is not to sell. But yes, I mean, we are thinking a lot of our agents either have for their own clients or in general, either they went for a specific cruise line or a specific hotel, a specific
Hmm.
brand, and created a group. Um, so I think it's a good idea. I think it's a lot of work. That's the point. In order to actually grow the group and reach, uh, a few thousand members or tens of thousands of members, it takes a long time.
It
It's not
does.
that easy.
Yep. And there's the whole managing side of it. There's obviously a lot of spam out there, whether it be fake accounts or, people trying to push their brand, and piggyback on your success. That happens a lot. Um, but yeah, there's definitely work involved.
Yeah. So we have some more people coming in. We have two Kims. Hey Tony. Tony is late as always. Tony, we're gonna start charging fees for people that are late to the session. Hi Fior and Robin. Yeah, we have a few people coming aboard. Um, so um, how many you said you loved cruising, right? Even before. So how many cruises have you taken until now?
I have now been on 52.
52
Um,
cruises. Okay.
Yeah, it would be higher, except the whole coronavirus thing going on. I've already had three canceled on me, and it's looking like there's probably going to be a couple more, unfortunately.
So 52, and again, this is a community of travel agents. You are using a travel agent
I
for
do
yours.
use a travel agent. That's
All right,
correct.
cool.
I'm going to be honest. I do a lot of the legwork, obviously, just because I know what I want to book. It's somebody I have a good relationship with, and um, so I do a lot of the legwork and say, hey, can you book this for me? I'm not really utilizing his services like a lot of obviously clients would.
Yeah, so you're a semi-pro, kind of retired,
Yeah,
uh,
you
right?
could say that.
Right. You had experience in the past selling a little bit of travel
Yeah,
yourself.
about 5 years, between 2007 and 2012. Um,
Nice. So if someone is looking to create a community, create a Facebook group. How would you start? What's I know you said 50 of your closest friends. What's
mhm.
what's next? How do you get to the first 200, first
Well,
500?
think there's two paths, right? So the path I took, I put my closest 50 friends in there, and I've kind of slowly built it through the methods that I've talked about. There's not anything that's really driving Facebook members there from an algorithm standpoint. Um, if you decide that you want to be very specific in your group in the genre or what it is, like just as an example, like let's use Norwegian's new class of ships coming out, the Leonardo class, right? If you're gonna make a group that's specifically for that, you will drive members will drive there automatically because it's something so specific. Um, if if you want to do something that's more generalized, kind of like my group, um, obviously you need to build in some growth uh, initiatives or methods, if you will. Um, and like I mentioned, I mean, one of them could be simply just networking and talking about it, with the right people, people who are into cruising. And um, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great platform for anybody, whether they're trying to um, just have a informative place for their clients, or if they're trying to gain clients and gain sales. I mean, it can work in both scenarios, I think.
And you also mentioned you have a blog as well, and
Yeah, I
other
do.
social media that you promote, that you, well, again, not
Yeah.
promote necessarily the group, but complete the package, we'll call it.
Yeah, so it's information that I would provide to the group, but I do it through other channels, and they kind of almost piggyback each other, right? I mean, you're gaining some followers from one platform from the other, and vice versa. So my two other platforms besides the Facebook group that I mainly use is my actual blog site, and Instagram. Instagram is where all my photos go. I shouldn't say all my photos, all my good photos go. Um, and that's kind of my platform for that. Um, and so, like I said, they can kind of piggyback each other from some extent, because there's some people who might not be on one or the other, and it's kind of a way to maybe open up their horizons as well. So.
Okay. I see we have a few more. Hi, Justin, and Paula. Yeah, you're with Tony. Late, sorry. That's, but you can always go back once the session is done. You can go back to the beginning. And hi, Ravi is watching us too. Um, okay, so um, um, uh, again, it's a group of cruisers. What are they doing right now? Because they're certainly not cruising.
Yeah, so it's definitely a tough time, and it's a weird time too, especially for the group, because normally I'm any little bit of cruise news, I'm kind of trying to like stay on top of it and make sure that the group is informed, but things are happening so fluidly right now that it's like you might post something and the next day it's not even, true anymore. So there's kind of this weird I don't know, this fine line, I guess, of when do I go and post that this cruise line has done this and this cruise line has done that. Um, I've pretty much kept it to when the cruise lines make a specific decision on something, I will post about it. Obviously, there's all these headlines you'll see, whether it be in cruise groups or on your, your web browser. Um, there's this endless supply of breaking news, if you will, and a lot of it's clickbait and some of it's not. But try to weed through some of that, and provide good clean content. So it's one of the things that's a little tough right now. It's like you don't want to like oversaturate because there is so much news going on. Um, but as far as like the cruising standpoint, I think in a group like mine, I'd say the majority are on the side of I'm going to be at the port when that ship's ready to go. Like, there's not going to be a lot of downtime per se. Like, waiting for this or waiting for that to happen before I get back on a cruise ship.
So as soon as the port is open, they already have a bag packed, and they'll head to they'll get to the port somehow.
Yeah, I'd say that's a majority in my group. There's going to be some that aren't, obviously, but and that's my take too. As soon as I can, I will be on a ship. In fact, I was semi hopeful a few weeks ago that um, I have a sailing in the middle of May, and it was right after the cutoff that all the cruise lines had used in their last announcement. I was kind of hopeful that it might happen still, but it's starting to look like that won't be the case. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think majority of the people in the group are just ready to go. So.
Yeah, we've had that, of course, with either clients and our own. We've
Mm-hmm.
got a few cruises that were canceled. I don't see them coming back for May, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, at
Uh,
this point, I'm obviously prepared for it to be gone.
yeah, I wish I was
Um,
optimistic for June, but it's just not.
yeah,
I
and
don't know. We'll have to wait and see. No one knows. Nothing's
yeah,
official, but I,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
it doesn't
every
look.
day I hope that I wake up and hear some breaking news that they discovered, a cure or something. But I mean, I know that's just wishful thinking. But every day I hope that I wake up to that. But
But
um,
you guys, again, you said you have another group. You have a group cruise coming up in 2021, so in about a
yeah,
year from now,
in February. Yeah,
February.
February 2021. Yeah, I have a number of other cruises in between. I'm really hoping that my July cruise does not get canceled. These the cruises to like the Caribbean, the Bahamas, like I can live with it being canceled. But I have a Baltics cruise in July, and I've put so much work into it, and it is gonna kill me if it gets
Mhm.
canceled.
So is that with people from your group, or this is your own
No,
person?
that it's actually my me and my wife's 10-year anniversary
Oh,
trip. So obviously another reason why it's like gonna kill us if it doesn't happen. It's like I think we booked it like almost 2 years out, and it's like it's very port intensive, and I've just put so much work into it that it's gonna kill me.
yeah.
If
Well,
that
next
one
time,
goes.
get your travel agent to do some stuff as well.
Well, yeah, well, yes, except a lot of the legwork was actually working with a tour provider to do some work together in exchange for sharing on my social media platform.
Oh, I
So,
see. Okay.
yeah, it wasn't something he could have really taken care of.
I see. So
Um,
for your next cruise group, when you're doing it, are you doing something special? Are you doing like a cocktail party, a meetup? Are you meeting before
yeah,
or after excursions?
so I'm using kind of the model that I used for the last one we did in 2018, but I'm probably going to add a little bit more to it now that I kind of know what I'm doing, if you will. Um, the last time we had a couple different get-togethers, like a sail away party. Um, we met up every night for like this was on the Norwegian Escape. We met up for the nightly dance parties out in Spice H2O. We did a group catamaran excursion in Bermuda, and then we had one dinner, which was the full group in one of the main dining rooms, and then the other nights it was usually like half of the group on one night, and then I would go with like the other half of the group, and we would mix and swap people in and out, and so we did a lot together, and it was really good. Pretty much almost everybody who was booked on the first one has now booked on the second one. So it should be pretty good.
Okay. And I don't think I asked, but do you have any plans for the group? Are you trying to any plans to do something to grow it? You're okay with it growing naturally?
I, I'm kind of okay with the growth right now. As you probably know, being in some cruise groups, the big groups start to get a little bit hard to manage, even if you have a team of admins. I mean, I know there's a couple groups out there that are like over 100,000 plus, and it has to be a nightmare. um, I I don't know. I like the kind of the size where it's at. I mean, I think I'd be okay with it getting a little bit bigger, but I don't know that it's something I want to grow over like 10,000 members. I think I'd kind of like to keep it under that. Um, I am, if any of your members have gone to join mine since you had posted the link, they'll notice. Obviously, I use questions to make sure that the person is somebody who's actually looking to get into a cruise group and they have the intentions of you know going there for the right reason. So I am pretty selective. Like I'm pretty good at spotting fake profiles now. It's funny how much you learn just from this little venture. But um,
Yeah, if
yeah, I
you've
mean,
if you've never managed a Facebook group, when you request access to the group, you probably realize you saw a few people are asking questions. The group admin is
mhm,
asking questions. But what we see on the admin side, we also see what groups you're a member. When was the profile created? If any of his friends or the user's friend are in the group,
mhm,
and we see some basic information. With that, it helps. If the user was created 4 months ago, no one joins Facebook 4 months ago. Or if he's a member of 5,000 groups, but only
right.
two are the groups that you're part of, then that's
It's a
things
red flag.
don't add up. Um,
Hmm.
and then you do have the option to block, so they won't request again, and they won't see the group anymore, or you just
Hmm.
ignore. Or sometimes I'll just wait until the actual user approaches me, and if they don't
Hmm.
approach me after a week, 2 week, a month, then I just ignore the request.
Yep.
And you open your communication to everyone. Everyone can post, right? There's not.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I
Yep.
assume when the group grows, 10,000, 100,000, as you've mentioned, you have to approve each and every post, because otherwise
Yeah.
it just gets crazy.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Um,
So
and in the group itself, are you doing anything to promote communication, surveys, or is
I
that something that
don't
you did at the beginning when you wanted to grow it more?
I don't do a ton of that. To be honest, conversation is usually kind of started by the members. I mean, everybody. No, I shouldn't say everybody. Majority of the people that are in there are there because that's what they want to talk about. That's what they want to discuss. Um, and obviously, there with any group, there's going to be certain members who are more inclined to post things or start conversations. um, but yeah, I mean, I obviously like any sort of like breaking news type things I'll post about. Um, anything that I feel will be beneficial. Like if I have a new post on, I don't know, my latest excursion in Cozumel, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. Like I will share that with them. Um, things like that. But a lot of it's generated by other members, and honestly, I prefer it that way.
Did you ever think? I mean, you're not using the group for anything commercial, monetary. It's not to make any money. But have
Right.
you considered bringing like a sponsor to something, or a way to use it for any financial? Could be to bring back to the group, but is that something that you ever consider?
Um, not specifically in the group. No. I don't know if that's really a path I want to go because it's hard because there's like I guess it would have to depend on who the sponsor was or what they were trying to gain out of it. I mean, it really would make a difference on what that intent was.
Right.
But
So
no,
not
it's not
not for
something that I.
not for any price. You have to really trust or know or believe. As you said, if it was an excursion to Cozumel that you really like, you will promote the supplier regardless of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So if if people have any questions regarding the group, regarding Facebook groups in general,
Yep,
communities. I know there's a lot of. Are you using any outside? I know there's a lot of outside softwares, apps. Have you used any of them in your group, like chat boxes and?
I have not.
No. Okay.
Everything's just intuitive Facebook. I have not added on anything else.
Okay. Yeah, we recently did I did our census. Just sent out the census just to see where, where people are, what people think,
Mm-hmm.
birthdays. We're still trying to grow our own community here. This virus kind of increased our number significantly because a lot of people are either have a lot of time on their hand, or
Mm-hmm.
they are truly looking for assistance, um,
Makes sense.
either to help people, or they need the help, or a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of both. And
Right.
that's the goal for our group. Um, so when's your next cruise again supposed to be? July, you said? That's
So,
the next one?
well, technically May, but
Oh,
obviously that's
May.
not happening. So July on Norwegian Escape to the Baltics. Then I have Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady in September.
Is
I'm
that the preview one that got canceled, or?
No, this was one I booked this um, when they first opened up sailings.
Okay.
God, I don't, a year ago. It's been a while now. Um, but yeah, I've had it booked from the get go. I was pretty bummed that the preview didn't happen in New York, but um, yeah, I think some of the travel agents have gotten invites to go on other like regular sailings down the road.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, what they did is, I guess for agents, I thought for media too, but for agents that were booked on the preview,
mhm.
they offered another, like the 4 or 5 night
Okay.
cruises to come back again.
So my invite was from the media side, and I have not received anything since the original. But we'll see. I've already had this booked, so I was committed anyways. So yeah, I'm hoping to probably add something in November too, and then obviously going into next year, I have the group cruise in February. Um, I have a couple others booked out into next year too, but we don't need to go through my whole list.
Nice. I mean, I think a lot of the members here would love to have a person like you as a client. First of all, as you said, you're doing quite a lot on your own, and then
Right.
you do cruise a lot. I think I did 22 up until now, so 50,
Okay.
52. You said
Yeah.
that is impressive.
I will say, I mean, they're not all like week long sailings. I do a lot of the 3 and 4 nighters, just because I'm married with 2 kids, and obviously they can't sail all the time. My wife's a teacher, and so I do go on some by myself, and I certainly can't be going away for like weeks at a time. So I tend to do a lot of the 3 and 4 nighters when it's by myself, and then if I'm with my wife or family, we'll do a longer one. Um,
Nice.
but
And right now, are you're working from home? Are you in
I
what do
am
you do on
so
your
my
when you're not in a Facebook group or cruising?
yeah. So my day job, I'm a finance manager for a gas turbine service provider. It's called Ethos Energy. I may or probably not have heard of it, but it's a joint venture between a company called Wood Group and a company called Siemens. Probably everybody's heard of Siemens. Um, but yeah, I've actually been with the company for 14 years almost. In June, it'll be 14 years. But yeah, so I'm a regional finance manager, and it's my day job. So fortunately, I am able to work from home, and my wife's a teacher, so she's doing the whole distance learning from home right now. And one of my kids is having to do it for school themselves. My son is in preschool, so he is a little bit, but it's not like really regimented.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, we're going a little stir crazy in here. My daughter had the flu the week before they shut everything down here, so I was home for an additional week before that. So I think
So you
I've
really can't wait to go.
oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm like desperate at this point.
Yeah. So Matt, I really want to thank you for the time. I've learned a lot. I hope other members here have learned as well. Hope to see you again in one of the cruises or the sessions.
Yeah,
Are
definitely.
You said travel agents are allowed in your group, right? As long as
Yeah,
they
yeah.
behave and follow the rules,
Travel agents are allowed, just no promoting, no direct messaging, any of that stuff. So, but they're more than welcome.
right? So if your agents and you have the the cruise life group, I've put the post. Please behave, because if not, no, Matt knows who to reach
I'm gonna
out.
come back to Roy and be
Yeah,
like,
you can
hey,
put in the message or the questions that you saw him in the group. You can go, you can come, you can um, help his community and help his guests if they have any, help his community if they have any questions. But again, please follow any group. Just follow the instructions, the rules.
definitely.
Don't even private message people with trying to sell them stuff. So.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you. If you need anything
Thanks, Roy.
in general, reach out and
Definitely.
have a great weekend. Hope to see you. Hope to see some pictures of cruises
Yeah,
really soon.
definitely. I hope we can all get back to cruising very soon.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Roy.
Bye.
Have a good one.